The Blackburn Buccaneer is a British capable attack aircraft designed for the Royal Navy in the 1950s. The aircraft was responsive to Soviet Union's class Svetogorsk class cruiser program. Sorry for the mispronunciation. I've just offended the whole of Russia. Instead of building brand new ships, the Royal Navy had an idea they could use the Buccaneer to attack the Soviet Union cruisers below the enemy radar. It could use nuclear weapons and conventional weapons as well. And later in its service, it could use anti-shipping missiles that would less risk to be shot down by enemy aircraft or missiles and be tracked by radar. Developments of the aircraft occurred because of the Soviet Union and the Cold War, especially the threat from the new Soviet cruisers, what I have mentioned before. These cruisers were extremely well armed. They were classified by being light cruisers. They were a large threat to the merchant ships in the North Atlantic. To counter the threat, the Royal Navy decided to introduce new strike aircraft. Will be able to take nuclear weapons or non-nuclear weapons as well. They will be operating for the Royal Navy fleet carriers, attacking very high speed and low level. Detailed specification order was issued in 1952 as a Naval Staff Requirement NA39. I wish they could make better names of these things. It was calling for a two-seat aircraft with folding wings. It would be capable of going 150 knots / 630 miles an hour. At sea level, it would have a combat radius at low level of 466 miles and a high altitude of 920 miles. It would have a weapons load of 3.6 tons required and to carry conventional and Redbeard free-fall nuclear weapon. Based on specification by the Navy, the Ministry of Supply issued Spec M1 for 18 August 1952 and got their response in February 1953. Blackburn company design was chosen in 1955. It was designed by Mr. Barry P. Late, and the project was called B103 for top secret reasons. It was either the Blackburn Naval Aircraft or it was called the Blackburn Advanced. Documents this lent to being called the Banana Jet, which is a brilliant name. Its maiden flight was made on the 30th of April 1958 at RAF Bedford. The first production aircraft of the Buccaneer entered service in January 1963 with the Fleet Air Arm. In total, 211 were built. The first engines in the Buccaneer were de Havilland Duron Junior turbojets, producing 7,100 pounds of force. These engines were severely underpowered. They could not take off when full fuel and fully loaded weapons on the aircraft even at full thrust. The temporary solution is that the Buccaneer would take off all minimal fuel and fully loaded weapons. When it was at height, it would rendezvous with a Supermarine Scimitar. It would refuel the Buccaneer with air-to-air refuelling. Safe concern if one of the engines failed to take off or landing fully loaded. With its special aerodynamics, it could crash or go into sea, or could end in total and utter disaster. The Royal Navy solved the problem of the underpowered de Havilland turbojet engines in the S1 Buccaneer by adding the Rolls-Royce Spey engines in the S2 Buccaneer. These engines provide 40% more thrust than the turbofan Spey engines and less fuel consumption than the pure jet Gyron engine. With less fuel consumption, they had longer range, now to 2,300 miles. The engine nacelles on the Buccaneer were enlarged to fit the Spey turbofan engines, and the wings had to have minor modifications to the aerodynamic surfaces. Augustically, the Buccaneer had a vast amount of weaponry available to it. It had 4 underwing hardpoints capable of carrying 12,000 pounds of bombs, 1 internal rotating bomb bay with a capacity of 4,000 pounds. With a combination of hardpoints and bomb bay, the Buccaneer would be able to carry 4 times Mantra rocket pods with 18 times SNEB 68mm rockets each. These missiles, it would be able to carry A9 Sidewinders for self-defense or 2 AS-37 Martel missiles or 4 times Sea Eagle missiles. It was able to carry unguided bombs and guided munitions, and able to carry the Redbeard nuclear bomb. The W117 tactical nuclear weapon also So able to carry the AN/ALQ 101 ECM protection pod, AN AVQ 23 paved spike laser designated pod, buddy or fueling pack or drop tanks for extended range / loitering time. The specifications of the aircraft: it had a crew size of 2, by 2 £11,000 of thrust Rolls-Royce